In this fast-pass tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create an online store with your WordPress website using WooCommerce. Yeah, that's right. This is the full WooCommerce tutorial, and we're going to go through everything in this video. Hi, my name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I make WordPress tutorial videos for non-techies. If you're new here, consider clicking on the subscribe button. If you don't want to miss a thing, click on the little bell. So we're going to just jump right into WooCommerce. So there's a few things I want to go over first. Now, if you're just wanting to learn WooCommerce in kind of a development test environment, I want to suggest that you consider using this free tool called Local by Flywheel. This is going to allow you to install WordPress on your local computer. It's great for learning. I'm not going to go over Local right now in this video, but I'm going to put a link to a tutorial video in the video description box, and get familiar with the video description box. There's going to be a table of contents in there and several resource links available to you. And one of them is going to be a tutorial on Local by Flywheel. Essentially, it's going to allow you to install WordPress on your local computer, and you're going to be able to learn and do all kinds of stuff that way without doing it on a live website. I use it. In fact, I use it in this tutorial. The next thing I want to talk about is if you are looking for web hosting, if you are going to have an e-commerce web store, there are some additional considerations. You might want a more appropriate web hosting plan. You certainly don't want to go with some free host or some bottom of the barrel host. So I have a dedicated page for that. It's at ordernewhosting.com. It'll take you right on over here. It's going to make hosting recommendations based upon your situations because, you know, not every host is a one size fits all. And so this will help you make a decision on hosting that might be appropriate for you. Next, I want to talk about WordPress themes. For WooCommerce, you need a theme that is specifically designed to work with WooCommerce. If you don't do that, you're going to be just in for a world of hurt because WooCommerce is not going to look good and it's not going to run good on your website. So you definitely want to use a theme that is compatible with WooCommerce and has specific styling for WooCommerce and a specific feature set. And with that consideration of themes, you definitely want to go with a reputable theme that you know was coded for speed and efficiency, because when you have an e-commerce store on your website using WooCommerce, there's some extra demands that it has. And if you're using a theme that's poorly coded, you might run into some trouble. So for this tutorial, we're going to use a free theme called the Astra theme. It has full WooCommerce integration in the free version of the theme. And they have some extra bells and whistles in the paid version of the theme as well. But we're going to use the free version of that theme in this video. And we're also going to, I'm just going to show you. It's called Astra Sites. It's really cool. So this is just going to take like 2 minutes to get a full e-commerce website that's beautiful installed on the website. So let's just do that now. So I just have a blank empty installation right here. There's nothing on it. I'm going to go to Appearance, Themes, and I'm going to click on Add New, and I'm going to search for Astra. Here is the Astra theme. I'm just going to quickly click on Install, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on Activate. Okay, let's go ahead and activate the theme. Here, I'll just do a quick refresh and you can see where we're at now. We've made a little bit of progress. We're not quite there yet. So go to Plugins, click on Add New, and this time we're going to do the same thing. We're going to search for the word Astra. All right, and here are the results. I want you to install Astra Starter Sites. Go ahead and click on Install. It's just going to take a moment. We're going to click on Activate. All right, so now that that's installed, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Appearance, and there's a new menu item that says Astra Sites. Go ahead and click on that. Now, Astra Sites, it's essentially going to build an entire website beautiful for you with just 3 mouse clicks. And so the first step is to choose which page builder you're going to use. Now, I just recommend right here you go and click on Elementor, and so it's going to show us a list of websites that we can restore with 3 mouse clicks. And you can choose whichever one. Now, every single one is going to be compatible perfectly with WooCommerce, but there's some in here that are specifically set up on the front end for an e-commerce web store. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. Now, the only ones that you don't get access to for free are the ones that have this agency badge. So let me just scroll down to some of the e-commerce ones. So here's one that's agency. Let's scroll down. We have a couple down here. Let's see, where are you? This is the one that I want to look at. It's right here. It's called Brand Store. So click on Details and Preview. Now you can follow along this full tutorial and choose a different one if you want. This is just the one that I'm going to use. It specifically has a design for e-commerce. So all we have to do is click on Install Plugins, and what this is going to do, it's going to install that page builder, and it's going to install WooCommerce for us, and then we will be already ahead of the game here. So this is just going to take a moment. Okay, that was the first mouse click, and now we're going to click on Import this site, and this is a warning. You don't want to install Astra sites on a live website. It's meant to be installed on a fresh website. That's why I was recommending going with local by Flywheel for testing purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. It's going to go ahead and get this site set up for us. It's going to get the menu set up for us. It's going to set everything up for us. And then we can jump on in to the meat and potatoes of this WooCommerce fastpass tutorial and start going through WooCommerce itself. So it's just going to take a minute or so. Okay, it is now complete. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the X to get out of that. Now I'm going to go back to the website, and I'm going to go ahead and click on refresh, and you can see, oops, there we go. I've got refresh, and you can see we have a full, beautiful e-commerce website. What did that take? 5 minutes. And I'm going through this kind of fast, but it took 5 minutes. And now we can start learning about how to use WooCommerce. It's already installed on our website. So if I click on dashboard, we're going to see we have some new options. We have WooCommerce and we have products. So what we've done so far is a ton. We talked about hosting, how to install WordPress on your local machine. We talked about themes, and we set up an entire e-commerce website. Now, one last thing I want to bring up is here is Astra's website. You can visit it by going to WPCrafter.com/Astra, and you'll be able to hop over here. The theme is 100% free. It's the only theme that is specifically made for high performance websites, which is what you want to take into consideration when you're going to build an e-commerce website. They also have a professional version if you want to just see what some of the features are. It's only $59. You can install it on as many websites as you want. It's very reputable, and it's the theme that I use, and there's a lot of people using this theme. Here, let's go ahead and let me just show you some of the features real quick that you get with it. With the paid version of it, you get a transparent header, sticky header, page headers, and I go over this in more detail in some other videos. Now, the best way to tell you about the additional things that come with the pro version of Astra is probably just to show you. So I'm going to show you really quickly. So you get the transparent header that I already mentioned. You can change the shopping cart icon. However, you do get the shopping cart out of the free version of Astra with the drop down here. It's just a different icon, and it doesn't show the dollar amount of the cart. That's an additional feature. You get this quick view. I really like the quick view. So you can click on a product right here. It's going to pop up and someone can add it to a cart. That comes in the pro version. You also get this filter right here. So I can click on this, and then I can have it so my visitors can filter through the products, and it's not taking up any space. So you can keep your web store looking simple and elegant. Here is what the product page can look like. Here's what's called page headers. You can easily make these beautiful page headers like this that are deployed automatically. You can see this minimalistic shopping cart right here. And here is what your checkout would look like. Now, a lot of this already comes in the free version of Astra. This video isn't by no means a way to encourage people to go buy Astra Pro, but it is nice if you want additional features to know that if you use the Astra theme, you can later get the pro version, get access to paid support, help the developer through supporting them through a purchase. But that's not what this video is about. It's about WooCommerce. So let's go ahead and jump on into the WooCommerce FastPass tutorial. So let's take a deep dive into WordPress eCommerce, and what I'm talking about is using WooCommerce, which is a plugin for WordPress that will turn your WordPress website into a full-featured e-commerce website. Now, here's the thing that I want you to know up front is that it's going to be easier than you think. For some reason, WooCommerce initially just comes across as very overwhelming. Having an e-commerce store can come across as very overwhelming and a lot to take in, but I want you to know that when you start digging into it, it's going to be a lot easier than you think to get up and running. So here's what essentially an e-commerce website and these e-commerce features really do. You're going to list products, and there's different types of products. We're going to go through that. And then you display those products on the front end of your website. Next, you sell those products and then fulfill the orders. And that is all there really is to an e-commerce web store. And that's pretty much what we're going to cover right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at the different types of products that you can have on your e-commerce website. So you can have a physical product. Obviously, that's something that you physically ship. Then you can also have a virtual product. And what that is a product where you're not necessarily delivering a download or something like that. There's nothing being shipped. This would be kind of, say, an appointment. If someone wanted to schedule an appointment with you and you sold it an appointment, that would be a virtual product. And then we have downloadable products, and this is where after someone completes their purchase, they will be given a link where they can download in a secure area the file or whatever you are offering them as a download. Now let's look at the 4 different ways of actually setting up these products in WooCommerce. So there's the simple product, and this is just a standalone product that you sell. Then you have the option of having a grouped product. So this could be kind of a product bundle. So if you have 2 or 3 items, you can bundle them together as a grouped product and sell that. Then there's also an external product. This is where you're not actually fulfilling the order. Maybe it's an affiliate link to Amazon or something like that. This would be a perfect usage of an external product. And then you have what's very common is a variable product. This is where you'll have a product and there's multiple variations. A variation could be different sizes, small, medium, large. A variation can be different colors. It can be whatever, if it's an electronic, say in their storage, it could be 32 gigabytes or 64 gigabytes. So this is very common. It's called a variable product. And this is where someone will land on the one product page and then they will choose the variation that they want. And you're going to be able to set up whatever variables for a product that you need to do. So you don't have to create them all as separate, simple products. Then once you have all your products set up in your website, then what we're going to do is control what's called the product category. And this is also called your shop page. So this will be the page on your website that you are displaying all of these products in a grid. Maybe there's filters where people can filter it by price and they can just click on the product that they're interested in. And for each product that you have in your store, you can set the visibility options. You have full control over the visibility if you want that product to show in the shop page. And that's how basic having an e-commerce website is. Now, what can be a little overwhelming because it's different for everybody in different situations is 2 things. The first one is taxation and how do you tax products. Now, the issue with taxation is it's different depending on your country or your state or your location. It's going to be different. So you're going to actually have to find out how taxation needs to work. But there are several different types of taxation. You have full control over it in WooCommerce. So one of the main options is origin-based taxation. That is going to be the taxes are based upon where you're shipping the products from or where the product is being sold from. This is origin-based taxation. This is actually how Amazon used to tax, Amazon.com in the United States. They used to do it origin-based. So if you were not in the state where Amazon was, you were not having to pay sales taxes. And that went on for a long time until laws were changed. The other way of taxation is shipping based. Now, the challenge with shipping based, that means I'm going to charge taxes based upon where the product is being shipped to. That can actually get very complicated to manage because there are so many different locations. They all have different tax rates. It's actually kind of complicated. So this is where some of the challenges come into play with having an e-commerce store, and this is managing and dealing with the taxation. Now, there are services that will automatically manage all those tax rates for you, so it makes sure that you're charging the correct tax rate. However, you're going to have to do a little bit of the heavy lifting to find out how you're supposed to charge taxes based upon where you are. And then there are what's called tax classes. These are categories you could put products into. So there's standard, and that's typically what you're going to leave for most of your products. But then there's a reduced tax class and a zero tax class. Now, I think this word classes is quite confusing. We are going to see it in taxation. We're also going to see it in shipping. These tax classes, why don't you just think, instead of classes, think of categories. So a product can be standard taxation, reduced taxation, or zero taxation. And these are things that you actually set up on each product. So we're going to take a look at taxation in WooCommerce, and I'm also going to give you some resources to make sure you have that all dialed in. Next, the big thing that can be a little complicated happens to be shipping. And that is basically, how are you going to charge the right amount for shipping depending on how you're choosing to ship. So you can maybe just include free shipping, and this actually wouldn't be overwhelming at all if you included free shipping, or maybe you would have flat rate shipping, and then this is very easy. Or if you want to charge accurate shipping based upon what you're going to actually have to pay for the shipping and then pass that off to the purchaser of the products, you're going to need to learn about table rate shipping. And this is the same thing where you create complex rules to make sure you're charging the right amount everywhere you would ship to, based upon the carrier that you're using for shipping. And then, like we had tax classes, there's also shipping classes or categories. So you can charge different shipping on different products. And then, so what you would do is you would create these shipping, I like the word categories, I don't like the word classes. So you can create these shipping categories. And so maybe a category is free shipping, maybe another one is flat rate shipping. And so you can create these and assign these, just like with the taxation, you can assign it on a product by product basis. So obviously, if you want to make this whole process easier, you will maybe just do flat rate shipping, or maybe just include shipping into the cost of sending the product or selling the product. Free shipping. That's an easy way to do it, but WooCommerce is designed to meet any e-commerce web store's needs. But I don't want you to get overwhelmed by the taxation and the shipping. I know it can seem overwhelming, but what's most important is that you get started building your website, filling out the products, getting it all set up, and then you sort through that. You will sort through that and figure that out. Don't let that be a roadblock for you. But you are going to have to spend some time figuring out your situation. It's impossible to cover all these situations here in a tutorial video. So let's go ahead and jump back into our website, and we will start digging into WooCommerce. So first, I'm going to go through the settings of WooCommerce. And then I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the products, and then we'll set the way that they'll look on the front end of your website. So when you install and activate WooCommerce, you're going to have these two options here, or these two menu items. You're going to have WooCommerce itself. This is where you're going to find your orders. You can create coupons. You're going to see reports. Your settings are going to be there. And then right here is your products, and this is where you're basically going to load up and categorize all your products. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So let's go ahead and on WooCommerce, go ahead and click on Settings, and we'll walk through some of the settings in WooCommerce. Now, each of the settings panels are going to be in these tabs, and when you're in a tab, like for instance, if I click on Products, you're going to have sub-menu items right here. This might not be so obvious. So let's click back on General and start going through these settings and start talking about them. So this General tab is where we're going to set up information about your store. This is where you're going to put the address of your store. You're going to load in your state or country, and you're going to go down here and you're going to set where you actually sell to. So you can limit your store to only selling to your country or certain countries. And then right here is where you can enable taxation and tax calculations. And then what's very important is to set your currency options. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling this out for me right now. Okay, so I filled out my address. I limited it to just selling in the United States and also shipping only to the United States. And I changed the currency. I set it to the US dollar. I'll go ahead and click on Save Changes. And now let's go ahead and click on the Products tab and take a look at some of the options that we have here. So this is that tab where we have the multiple sub options right here. I just want to point that out so you don't miss those. All right, so here we are. So this is where you're going to tell WooCommerce which page on your website is going to be that shop page where you list all of your products out. Then we have some options here when someone clicks the Add to Cart button, and we can choose to, if someone clicks on it, to immediately take them to the shopping cart if you wanted to do that. Here you can set in some measurements for your products. And then here you can decide whether or not you want to enable reviews on your products and product ratings. Let's scroll back up here and then click on Inventory. Now with WooCommerce, you can actually have it manage the stock of your products. And so here's the option in order to enable stock management. And then here is where you can decide how it will manage and hold the various products, how it's going to notify you if you're low on stock on particular products, and then how to define if you're low or not on stock of certain products. So you have these thresholds that you can set here and these notifications, and then you can decide how to deal with a product that is out of stock. You can just decide to hide it if you want from the catalog. And then right here, you can choose how and even if you want to display that quantity. So this is probably not good if you have large numbers of quantity in stock, but it is very good when you're running low to induce scarcity in whoever's shopping on your site. So you can choose to never show, or you can have it show just when it's a low quantity, or you can have it always show. I kind of like this showing only when it's in low quantity myself, but that's going to be completely up to you. Now here is the options for downloadable products. So if you don't have any downloadable products that you're offering on your shop, then this option will not be for you. Now here are the options. There's the file download method. I would just go ahead and leave that as is, but then the access restrictions are quite interesting. You might want to check here where downloads require a login. So someone actually has to be logged into your website in order to actually do the download. This would probably prevent people from sharing a download link if you required that someone be logged into the website in order to start the download. And then right here is an option for you to decide when you want to grant someone access to a download. By default with WooCommerce, when someone places an order, it goes into processing, and then you would manually go in there and complete an order. Now there is a little add-on extension that can automate that for downloadable products, but right here with this box checked, it will grant download access when it hits processing, and that way the person that purchases the download doesn't have to wait for you to come along and mark their order complete. Now let's take a look at the shipping tab. So right here we have the various shipping options, which is shipping zones, shipping options, and shipping classes. Now, a shipping zone is actually perfectly explained right here. It's a geographical region where a certain set of shipping methods and rates apply. So the way we actually see this in normal life is when someone puts in the shipping address, there's only certain options that are available to them. So you can have a local zone. So if someone's in a particular area near you, you can have a local pickup option available for them. It's based upon their address. And another example is if you wanted for example, a zone just for an entire country, you can do that and charge a flat rate shipping to that group when you're shipping to that location. And then another example would be to have an entire zone for a continent like Europe and charge a flat rate shipping. So these are your shipping zones based upon where you're shipping. Next, let's take a look at the shipping options that are available to us. So right here, by default, this is enabled to enable the shipping calculator on the cart page. And then here's an option if you wanted to hide the shipping costs until an address is entered. So if that shipping cost is going to change based upon where someone is, you'll probably want this enabled. And then here are options of what you can allow someone to enter for a shipping location. So you can force it to be someone's billing address or a shipping address, or have them not have an option. So you see this a lot. I do whenever I order anything, where I enter in my billing address and then it pre-fills that out to be the shipping address. And I then would have to, if I wanted it shipped to a different location, I would just go ahead and change the address in there. But there's this also security measure right here to force shipping to the customer billing address. This would probably reduce any type of fraud if you're selling high value items, because typically when fraud occurs, someone makes a payment with someone else's payment method and there's a billing address, but then they'll ship it someplace else where they can get access to whatever was purchased. Now let's take a look at shipping classes. Now, shipping classes is an interesting concept. So essentially, this is a way for you to group different products into categories for the purpose of changing how you charge for shipping. So say you had a flat rate shipping of $10, but on certain products, you may want to charge an extra $2 or something along those lines, where you would create a shipping class and we would set it up so that any product that's in that shipping class will be charged the flat rate plus this extra amount. So in this interface right here is not where we actually set up that information. This is just where we actually create the class, and then we're going to go into a different screen where we go ahead and put in what that surcharge is. So I'm going to go ahead right now and add a few shipping classes. Okay, so I've gone ahead and filled it out. I put large shoebox. And if you don't put anything here for the slug, it's just going to use and auto-generate it based upon what you named the class. And then I have my description here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Shipping Classes. And now I've gone ahead and created my first shipping class. So now I'm going to go back to shipping zones, and I'm going to set up a shipping zone for flat rate shipping. All you do is click on Add Shipping Zone and then fill this out. So I've entered US Domestic for the zone name, and for the region I've chose the United States, and right here I'm going to click on Add Shipping Method. And so these are the options that we get, which is flat rate, free shipping, or local pickup. And what I want is flat rate. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Shipping Method like this, and it's going to go ahead and add it. So now I have my flat rate set up, and now I need to just put some information in there about the charge. So I'll click on Edit, and I get this pop-up right here. And first I will choose if the shipping cost is actually taxable. This is another situation where you have to see what the laws are in your area. Then we enter in the cost of the shipping. So for me, I'm going to put $9.95. And then right here, we see the shipping class costs. And so right here is that shipping class that we created, large shoe boxes. So what I can do is use one of these formulas. So when you hover your mouse over the question mark, right here is the option. So I can put, say I wanted to charge an extra $2 per shoe box or shoe order that someone places on top of the flat rate. I can put 2, then the asterisk, which is multiplication, and then in bracket QTY, and that's for quantity. So this is what it would look like. And there it is. So when I put a product in this category, large shoe box, so for each shoe sale, it's going to charge the flat rate plus $2 just on those items. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Changes, and now we've gone ahead and created this flat rate shipping option right here. And this is where you'd also want to add in a free shipping option if you wanted to do that. Now I'm going to link to this article on the WooCommerce website right here, specifically on table rate shipping, so that you can read through it if you wanted to create some more complex rules for shipping your products either around your country or around the world. There's an article here that walks you through, it's a tutorial article that walks you through table rate shipping. This would probably be a good topic for a dedicated video, table rate shipping, but this is a great tutorial right here on that. Okay, so that's going to be shipping. Let's go ahead and jump on over to our checkout right here. So we have these options right here as well underneath checkout. So the first option right here is how do you want to handle coupons. So you can not take coupons at all if you didn't want to and just uncheck this right here. And how you want to apply those coupons if you want to calculate multiple coupons. And then right here is the checkout process. Now, this is one item where I don't think WooCommerce should have enabled by default, but they do. And that's this enable guest checkout. So when you uncheck this box, this means someone has to create an account on your website in order to make an order. This is what I definitely think you should have off, but it's up to you based upon what you're selling and how you're selling it. Right here is for secure checkout. We don't have to deal with that if you have an SSL certificate. You should have your entire website on SSL. There was a time where it wasn't as much of a requirement, but you did need it when someone was actually checking out. However, nowadays you need to have an SSL certificate across your entire website. Now right here is where you tell WooCommerce which pages on your WordPress website are your shopping cart and your checkout page, and if you wanted an optional terms and condition page. Right here, these checkout endpoints, you're going to want to leave those alone. Those are just some different slugs that's pretty technical, and there's really no reason to modify those. Now right here's where we're going to list the order of our payment gateways, and this is if you were offering more than one ways to pay. Now it's up to you how many ways you want to offer to pay. I do think a good rule of thumb for convenience is to offer both PayPal and Stripe. Stripe is an extension that you can add to WooCommerce, and it's very easy to integrate, and you could take direct credit card transactions on your website, and also PayPal. Now, what that does is it gives your customers an option. So some people, they prefer not to use PayPal, and then there's some people that prefer to use PayPal. I know for me, I like PayPal because I find it convenient. Now, the actual options for these different methods and how to enable them on your website or not is going to be at the top. And that was what we saw right here. These are where we're going to see links for each of these payment methods. This might be a good point in the tutorial to go and add the Stripe payment gateway by going to plugins, add new, and I'm going to go ahead and open this up in a new tab. And then right here, we can just do a search for the word Stripe. When you enter in Stripe, it's going to be the first option right here. This used to cost money, but then at some point WooCommerce made it free, which is actually good that they did that. Then just go ahead and click on install, and then we're going to go ahead and activate it. Let's click on activate right now, and now it's activated. So when I go back here and I go ahead and do a refresh, we're going to see Stripe as an option. And there you have it. You have all the various Stripes, and when I scroll down, here they all are. So what we can do, if you wanted to do the PayPal and Stripe, we can go like that. And then right here where it says credit card Stripe, we can go ahead and put that at the top. And now what we're going to do, let me actually save my changes. Then we're going to go and take a look at those options and enable them. So let's go ahead and first click on PayPal because it's right here. And what you'd want to do is just click right here to enable PayPal to begin with. Now, these are some options of how this payment's going to appear. Now, right here for PayPal email, you'd want to enter in your PayPal email address. This is not my PayPal email address. Just make sure you enter the correct PayPal email address, and you always want to test the actual payment, do a couple test payments to make sure you're actually getting the money. And then right here, you put your receiver email. You're going to want to get this PayPal identity token. When you hover over the question mark, it tells you exactly how to get this identity token so that you can pop it in here. And then right here, we have some options of the info that will get pushed to PayPal, the shipping or the billing address. And then when we scroll down here, this is what you're going to need to get. You're going to have to get this API credentials from PayPal. Now, when you hover over here, it gives you information, but here's a link that will get you all the information you need in order to get those API credentials. Now, I know very old PayPal accounts, any old PayPal account actually had access to these API credentials, but I think if you're to go create a PayPal account today, it actually needs to be a business PayPal account in order to get these API credentials. So let me go ahead and click on Save Changes. And now let's take a look at Stripe. Okay, so this is where you're going to enable Stripe by just checking right there. And you can enter in the title, how it's going to appear when someone goes to check out with Stripe. And then it's actually so simple with Stripe when you log in to get the information you need here. So first you'd want your test key and secret key. You'll put that in there, and this allows you to run tests on your payment gateway. Just make sure when you're running tests and you verify they work that you disable this test mode, because people have gone live with their e-commerce site and they forgot to take it out of test mode, and let's just say it's quite a disaster. Here's some additional information on how it's going to look on your website. Here's an interesting option. When you enable this, it wouldn't be your standard checkout for putting in your credit card. It will actually be a little pop-up that Stripe generates to collect the credit card information. The nice thing with Stripe and also PayPal, with PayPal stores the payment details, and this is, credit cards or things of that nature. Same with Stripe. If someone purchases with Stripe, that information, the credit card and all that information, you're not actually storing it on your website, so you really don't have a liability there. And then right here, you have some additional options for how Stripe will look on your website. It is so easy to get Stripe working with your website. So that's going to be our checkout and payment option. Let's go ahead and click on accounts. So this is where you're going to tell WooCommerce which page on your website is the account page for your customers. So when your customers log into your website, or they can click on My Account, and what happens is they'll have to log in. They could see some information like recent orders and things of that nature. And so this is going to tell WooCommerce which page on your WordPress website is for that. You can obviously click right here and change it to a different page if you didn't want it to be this one. And so these next options are going to be about how these accounts get created. So right here, this checkbox is telling WooCommerce to create the account when someone checks out, but you can also have open registrations on your My Account page. I wouldn't recommend that because it could attract spammers, just automated bots creating accounts. And then right here is some more options regarding logging in. Here's what happens and how an account is actually created. With this checkbox, you're telling WooCommerce to automatically generate a username from the customer email. I definitely recommend that. And it's probably a good idea to let your customers generate their own passwords. Or if you wanted to check this box where WooCommerce will generate that password for them. Here's some more account endpoints. You can just leave those as they are. That's what I recommend. And click on Save. Now accounts, what you notice, it doesn't have any sub options, which is nice. Now let's take a look at emails. Now WooCommerce is going to send various emails for various things. New order, canceled order, failed order. There's all of these different emails that get sent out. Now you can customize these, but before we do that, let's scroll down and look at some of the actual bigger options. So here we go. Email sender options. So this is going to be the from name, the from email address. So you might want to put your store name here and your store's email address here, or the one that you want people to be able to respond to. And then right here, you can add a URL to an image, and this would actually show in the header of these emails that go out. And then right here, you could put some text in that will be in the footer of the email that goes out. Right here, you can change the colors to your brand's colors. So you would want to probably, for the base color, not have it be the WooCommerce purple, whatever your brand's colors is. And then here's the background color, the background of the body where the text is, and then the color of the actual text. So this would probably be the main color that you're tweaking right here, and then you'll want to save those options. So on these emails right here, well, obviously on these first three, you want to make sure it has the right email address that you want. So these are going to be notifications to the store owner. These emails here are going to be going out to the customer. So on any of these, you can go ahead and click on configure, and it's going to bring you to those options. So you can enable or disable. If you don't want to be notified of new orders, you don't have to. You can uncheck this. Make sure your email is there or wherever you want these notifications to go. And this is what the subject line is going to be. It's automatically going to pull information in from the actual order. And then here is the email type. It's going to be an HTML-based email, and that's required for it to look good. If you wanted to change anything, and I probably don't recommend doing that, but if you did, you would go ahead and click on View Template. To look good, I would recommend leaving this on HTML, but you could change it to plain text if you want, but you'll want to leave that on HTML. And there is like a template file with all kinds of code that you're not going to want to edit. But if you did need to, there's some instructions here of how you can override it. Even if you clicked on View Template, that's just not going to make much sense to most people anyway. So let me click on here to get out of this email and get back to our screen. So you're going to want to go in there and make sure you have your recipients in there right. Customer, these are obviously emails that are going to go out to the customer. These shouldn't require much tweaking at all. And then there's some technical things here with the API. You'll just leave these default, but we have these options right here. Now let's take a look at some of the products, and that's really where you're going to spend your time doing most of your setup work, is adding products to WooCommerce. So I'm going to go ahead and click on all products here. The website that we're working with has some in here, so we can kind of get an idea of how these products were added so that we can get comfortable adding them ourselves. So first, let's take a look at this product on the front end of the website. I'm going to click on View and open this up in a new tab right here. And so here's how our product looks. Now we're going to set up products and get that process down. And then we're going to go in and I'm going to show you how to change the way this actually looks on the front end. So here's our product image. Here is our title. Here is our description, bit of text. This is saying it's out of stock, but we can change that very easy. Here's the SKU number. You don't actually have to show that if you don't use SKUs. Here's the category of the product. And then here is a different picture of it right here that someone can click on. And when you scroll down, here is a description, and you can see we're showing additional information and reviews in these tabs like this. So let's go ahead and now click on Edit Product so we can see what this looks like in WordPress. So this first bit of paragraph text is actually what showed underneath the product image. But right here is where everything pretty much happens with Woo creating products, and it's going to be all mainly in this box right here. So here's where we see our different product types: simple, grouped, external or affiliate, and variable. So when I click on simple, then we get our options here for a virtual product or a downloadable product. Now when you click on these tabbed options here, they can tend to change. So if I click on downloadable right here, you notice how we have new options here, and this is actually just pointing to those downloadable files and setting some limits and some expirations on it. And so we can uncheck that. And then virtual, it tightens this up a bit and removes some options, which was mainly shipping option. And then we have our simple product. So right here, we can enter in a price and a sales price if we wanted. And you can even schedule a sale on a particular product. So I'm going to go ahead and enter some values. I've entered in $39.99 and $29.99, so it will be on sale. And then you can click on the inventory tab, and this is where you can put a SKU number in if you wanted to, and you can set the stock status. Now right here is if you wanted to enable stock management on this particular product. And then right here you have some fail safes. If you have a particular product where you don't want to allow someone to order more than one, this right here is the option for you. You usually want that with digital downloads. You don't want someone to accidentally purchase two when they would only need one, and then they would have to come back to you and ask you for a refund. That's when I've used this right here the most. Then we can go ahead and click on shipping right here. And this is where we can put in some criteria for the product like weight and dimensions, and also choose a shipping class. Now we saw earlier when I created the shipping class large shoebox, and that would add $2 to the shipping cost. And that's what I've gone ahead and selected right here. Now you can also link this product, or you can link products together as upsells and cross sells. So what happens is an upsell is when someone's checking out and they're in the shopping cart, they'll be presented with upsells are going to be shown to someone when they're actually on the product page. So someone's looking at one product and you're showing another product, which would be an upsell. The intention is for them to purchase an upsell instead of the product that they're on. That's what the upsell is. Now, a cross-sell is product that would go along with a product. So for a cross-sell, these only show when someone's actually in the shopping cart and they've already taken a product and they've put it in their cart, then it's going to display these cross sells. So cross sells are good for maybe having a product be shown to a customer that they may need and they're not thinking about it. You see this a lot of times in electronics. So for example, I was purchasing a particular what's called a capture card, but what do I need with that? Well, I need the correct cables to go along with the capture card. So when I'm checking out, that would be good to show me the various cables that I may need, so I can click a button and easily add that to the cart. So I can click in here and do a search for another product that's already in my e-commerce store, and I can add it as an upsell or a cross sell. Next, we have product attributes, and this is part of the product variations. So an example of an attribute would be size, small, medium, large, or an example would be color in the various colors of your products. You can go ahead right here and add a new custom attribute, or in the drop down, we already have one available and it's right here named size. So when that's clicked on, you can click on add, and then it's going to add the size right here, and I can just go ahead and put my value in there. Now, lastly, we have the advanced option right here, and this is where you can put some notes in that you might want along with the purchase, and you can enable or disable reviews on this particular product. And last, we have that little bit of text that is actually going to show near the price. So I'm going to change this text so it's pretty obvious. How's that? Near the price. And then here's where you would see any reviews people left. Right here's where you're going to add the main product image, but then you can add additional images in a product gallery. If you had more than one here, you could easily reorder them. Okay, and as I scroll up, you can add a category and start categorizing your product. Now here's something that is kind of important, and that is catalog visibility. So let me just click on edit so we can look at the options. So by default, it's saying to show this on the shop page with all the other available products, and if someone's searching, show this as a result. Right here, if you choose shop only, it just won't be in the search results. And then if you check right here, it won't be in the shop, but it can be searched. And then right here, you can hide it all together. So this would be an idea if you were having a cross sale and you don't want someone buying that cross sell product directly because maybe you're discounting a little bit. So in that example of a cable, normally the cable's $50. But in the cart, you're offering it for say $25. Well, you can hide it so someone can't just buy that alone. They actually have to buy it as a cross sell. And this is when you can go ahead and hide that if you want. So I'll go ahead and click on OK. Let's click on update and see how the product looks. And then we're going to jump back in and take a look at the other product types. So I'm going to go here, and now we have that price that we put in. And remember, I put that text at the bottom near the price just to show you that that is where that text goes. And then right here, we have the original price. And look at this, we have our add to cart button. And we also have a sale badge right here. And we didn't actually change anything down here. So now let's go ahead and go in and take a look at the other product options. So let's scroll down here. So that was simple product. And then we have grouped products, and this is the product type where you're taking several products and kind of bundling it together as a single package that someone can purchase, a bundle. And so what you would do here is here's the stock status if you wanted to make this available at all, but then you really need to go here to linked products, and here where it says grouped products, this is where you would search and add the products that are going to be part of this single bundle. And if you have any questions about these, just hover your mouse over the question, and you can see right here it says this is going to be the list of products that are part of the bundle. You can assign attributes to this. We already explained that, and we already explained the advanced options here for grouped products. Next is the external or affiliate product, and this is where the button doesn't actually put them through the shopping cart. It actually would take them to an external product URL, and you can even customize the button text. This is ideal if you have a store and you want to maybe refer people out to Amazon or something like that for products that you know your customers want, but you're not going to carry. You might as well send them to Amazon and get an affiliate commission. I've been seeing this a lot because I've been on several websites about live streaming. So there's these sites and they have a store, but all of the products actually go to other places where they earn an affiliate commission, which is totally fine. So this is how you would use WooCommerce in an affiliate situation. You can have the products listed, but then right here, you would go ahead and just link on out. So right here, you can add a SKU to it. I don't know why you'd want to do that. You can link upsells to it, and that's probably a good idea. You can assign attributes, and we still have those advanced options. Last is what most e-commerce stores that are going to be maybe in the clothing business or any type of product where there's going to be lots of variations. It's going to be the variable product right here. And so this is when you want one single product listing for different variations. So someone would come here and get the different colors and the different size options versus having 20 different product options in the store. You can just have the one product and these different variations for it. So a lot of these options are going to be the same ones we saw in the simple product where we saw SKU, stock management, and the sold individually. We also had those shipping options in the simple product. We also had linked products for upsells and cross sells, and we also had attributes. So when you want to have these variations, you need to first define what they are. And an attribute is color and size. those are perfect examples of it. So on this, we already have color, and I can click right here and add size just like this and click add. So now we have two attributes in here. If I wanted to add a new one, I could click on add, and it's going to create a third attribute where I would have to define what it is. I guess I'm out of ideas, but right here I would name what the variation is going to be, and I could go ahead and start putting some values in. I'm going to actually remove that. Let's go ahead and do that, and let's look at our size and color. So right here, let's put some values in. So size could be a number, or it could be small, medium, large. So right here, we have some of them. We have large, we have medium, we have extra large, we have small. Is small in there? I guess we don't have small. So let's just go ahead and add an S for that. And the way we would do that is we would click on add new, and this is just going to add a new value. And this is just going to add a new value here. So I'm going to go ahead and enter S for small, click on OK, and it's going to go ahead and add small right here for me. And there it is. So if we wanted to use this for variations, we want to check this box right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Attributes. So now we have 4 variations for size. Let's go ahead and check our color variations that we may want for this product. And so we have purple and red. You saw how to add new ones right here. And we have the option right here, used for variations. So now we have these 2 attributes, color and size, and we have the different options for it. Now what we need to do is actually create the variations. Now when we click on variations and go to create it, essentially what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to have kind of mini simple products in here for each of these variations. So this is what we're going to do, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to go right here to create variations from all attributes. I'm going to click on go. I'm going to click on OK. And it's going to go ahead and create them all. So for each small size, it's going to create a purple and whatever the other color was variation. And it's going to do that for each of the sizes. And so it's saying right here, there's 8 variations added. Let me click on OK. And it's going to show 8 variations here. So we have each size in purple, each size in red, and it just created that for us. Now we can go ahead and take a look at one of these. So each one is going to have these options to remove it, or you can click here and guess what? You can put the picture there. And so this is how with the e-commerce site, you can have different pictures that are there for the variation. So if someone picks the purple one versus the red one, you see it change colors. So right here, you can have unique images for each one of the variations. You can have a unique SKU for the variations. And these are all those settings that we're already familiar with that we saw in the simple product. So each variation can have its own price, its own stock status, and its own shipping class, but right here it's set as the same as parent. So what I'm going to go ahead and do right now is I'm going to go ahead and fill out all of these variations with a price. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added a price to each one of these. I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Changes, and we just created 8 variations of this product. Pretty insane, right? So I'm going to go ahead and click on Update. And now we're going to take a look at the product on the front end, and we're going to see those variation options. So here are the 2 attributes, color and size. And when I click on the drop down for color, we have the different options. And on size, we have our different options here. I probably should have put them in order, small, medium, large, XL. That's an easy fix. And right here, it shows you the price range based upon the price I just put in, all those variations. And it doesn't allow someone to even add it to the cart yet because they haven't made their choice. So right here, let's go for purple, and then right here, let's go for small. And what you see is now it's displaying the actual price, and I can add it to cart. And check this out, I actually made a different price for red. So when you choose red, it now increased the price to $39.99. And that's as simple as it is to create these variable products, to have one product listed here and have these different variations. Now, if I would have put a different image in for the red and for the purple, the image would have just immediately changed and the buyer would have been able to see what they're actually getting. I just didn't take that extra step. But like I said, it's super easy to do when you're in the variable settings for each one of these variations. You can go ahead and put the image in for it. So let's just check that out again. You can go right here and put a different image. And that's really all there is to the products. So now I'm going to show you some of the different styling options that are available in this theme for WooCommerce. So let me go ahead and go back to the front end, and I'm going to go to the shop page. So I'm going to click on store. And let's take a look at this and see what options that we have available for us. So we have this is a sidebar, and we have these widgets that we can put in, and we can also control how this store layout here looks. So I'm going to click on customize, and let's take a look at the options that we have available to us. All right, so first I'm going to go to layout. And then I'm going to click on WooCommerce, and this is the shop page. So I'm going to click on shop, and it's showing us some options here. So the first option is how many columns. So it's currently set to 3, but if you wanted, you can reduce it down to 2 products per column. And you can also set this on a per device basis. Okay, so let's put that back up to 3 actually. You can decide how many products you want per page. Right now it's set to 12. And you can also decide what you want to have happen when the mouse cursor hovers over the product. You can have it swap images, or you can have no hover style. Next, we get to see and choose what we want the product structure to be. So right now it's title, then it's category, it's price, and it's ratings. So right here, this product has all 4 items: title, category, price, and ratings. If I didn't want one of these here, all I would have to do is click on the little I. So if I didn't want category, I can click right here, and you're going to see the category just disappears. And you have all these options here, and you can even reorder them if something different makes sense. If you wanted an add to cart button right here underneath the product, you can do it that way as well. I personally don't think it looks good unless you make sure every product has all 4 pieces of information. So I'm going to uncheck that just like that. Next, we have a content with option for this page right here. So now let's go back, and I want to take a look at this right here, this sidebar, and then we're going to look at the individual product, and then we're going to look at the cart page. So I'm going to go back, and that's going to be a sidebar, and that's found under widgets. And here are the different widget areas, and this is the WooCommerce sidebar. So when I click on it and scroll up, here's the product search. If I didn't want this, I can click on remove and it will be gone. Here is a list of categories. If I didn't want this, I can click on remove and it will be gone. Same thing goes for the filter. So if I wanted the filter at the top, I could probably go like that. And if I wanted the attribute filter, I can go like that. And now I moved the filters up to the top like that. You see how easy that was? You can have this look however you want it to look. If I felt like there was just too much information and I wanted to get rid of categories, I can go like this, and I could easily go right here and then remove that, and it just disappears. These are the widgets on the shop homepage here. All right, so now that that's done, let's go ahead and look at the product page and the options we have available there. I'm going to jump back into layout, WooCommerce, and now we're going to look at the single product option. Now this is the free version of Astra. It has limited options available for the single product. If you did have Astra Pro, there would be a lot more options available here. But essentially, it's going to allow us to disable the breadcrumbs. This right here is the breadcrumbs, so they could see home, category, and the name of the product. But if you didn't want that, just check this box, and it will just quickly disappear and push all of the content up. So that's up to you if that's something that you would want. So next, I'm going to go ahead and click on Add to Cart. So next, let's take a look at our cart page options right here. And what we do is we have the option to enable the showing of upsells or not. And this is completely up to you whether you want upsells to show or you want those upsells to be hidden. Now, like I said, if you had the Pro version of Astra, you get a lot more cart options and checkout options. However, what we have and what's been given to us is very beautiful to begin with. So let's go back, and I just want to remind you how to enable or disable this shopping cart in the header. That's an option underneath layouts right here, underneath primary header right here, and it's custom menu item. It's set to WooCommerce. If I didn't want that, I would set it to none, and then I don't have the shopping cart. But if I would like that shopping cart, I just go right here and I choose WooCommerce, and I have my shopping cart back. Lastly, I want to show you the settings for these buttons right here. So if I go back and I go back again, there's this option for buttons, and here are all the attributes to the button. I've got my button color, I've got my hover color, I've got my text color, I've got my radius, I've got the sizing and the padding and all of that. So if I like to have maybe a rounded button, I can increase this from 0 to 5. Take a look at the add to cart button and see what happens as I'm upping this. You see how it's becoming more and more pill shaped? That is the button radius. So there's 20. It actually looks pretty good at 20, just like that. If you wanted to change the color of the background of the button, you can go here. I can do something crazy like a red. Just make sure you stay on brand, but you have full control over that right here. This will probably be impossible to read the add to cart, but you can put your color code right here and have full control over the color of that add to cart button. You saw how easy that was. And you also have control over how it looks when you hover. That's the hover background color. So if I wanted to do this purple, I could do that. This is crazy. I don't recommend it, but watch what happens. Now when I hover, it changes color like that. So you have full control. These are all the controls that you need for WooCommerce to get started. So now let's go ahead and take a quick look at coupons, and then we're going to test the checkout process. So I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to actually save any of these changes. I don't want to save this abomination of a button. And then I'm going to go into the back end of WooCommerce, and I'm going to go ahead and take a look at coupons right here. All right, so here is a default coupon that we have in here. There's several different options for coupons. So let's just go ahead and look at the anatomy of this one. So when you first get in there, you give it the coupon code, just pop that in right here. And then for general, you can choose the type of discount, whether it's a percentage or it's a fixed amount out of the cart or a fixed amount off of a specific product. You have full control over discounts and how it all works. And then you would enter in that amount right here. Here's an option for shipping, and you can set an expiration on your coupon. Right here, we have some usage restrictions. We can set restrictions on a minimum spend, a maximum spend, individual use. There's just so many options. They're obvious right here. You can have this coupon only work for particular specific products. Now, if you have a lot of products, but you only want a couple for it to not apply, you would just exclude those. But if you had a lot of products, but you only wanted it on one or two of them, then you would add it specifically here to the products. You can also discount entire product categories and exclude those categories as well. And this is actually an additional way of protecting your coupon from not being shared out on the internet. You can restrict it to just people, say it's a loyalty discount, and so you can restrict it to just people that have purchased from you in the past and you have their email address. Now right here you can set usage limits, unlimited, or you can limit the redemptions of it. You can limit how many items it could be applied on, and you can limit uses per user. So you can create a series of coupons if you want for your website. Next week, quickly, let's take a look at reports. So you can run reports. It's actually pretty good, the reports that it gives you and the information that it gives you. Basically, it's just going to be based upon your orders. Now, that brings us to what happens when someone actually buys something. You're going to have the order listed here as pending, and then you just process the order, whether it's shipping or fulfilling, and then you will mark the order complete. It's actually very simple, and there's options to mark a completed order, refunded. It's really simple to manage all of your orders here in the Orders tab. Now let's jump into the front end of the website and just test this checkout process. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Store. And then let's go ahead and say, click on this blue windbreaker jacket like this. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead. I'll leave just the one. I'll click on Add to Cart like that. And we get this notice that it has been added to the cart. I can click this to view the cart, but it's also, now I'm getting this notification here in the cart icon, and it shows me my products. It shows me the quantity, the subtotal. It gives me an option to jump to the cart or jump to the checkout. So let's take a look at what the cart looks like by clicking on View Cart. So this is where someone can remove items from the cart or increase the quantity, decrease the quantity, enter a coupon code. Your customers will do it all in the cart screen, and you can see that this is beautiful. It is simple, it is elegant, it is perfect. And right here is the cart totals. You can see the flat rate that was actually applied, and right here is the actual total. Then let's click on Proceed to Checkout, and it's going to take you to this beautiful, simple, focused checkout page. Right here, it's also giving them another option to enter in a coupon code. And then they would just go ahead and enter in their billing details right there, and their address, and their, the option for shipping the product to the billing address or the shipping address. Right here is a recap of what they're ordering. And then right here, since I didn't actually put the Stripe information in, it's not offering us Stripe, but if I had, we would have PayPal or Stripe as an option. And then once you click here, it's going to take them straight to PayPal to complete the order. And so that's pretty much all there is to having WooCommerce on your website. I know it seems overwhelming at first, but it's actually not that complicated once you get through wrapping your mind around taxation and wrapping your mind around shipping. So I'm going to put links to a couple articles on WooCommerce's website. They all have these great videos on it. So here is setting up taxes in WooCommerce. Right here is table rate shipping. And then right here is going to be the flat rate shipping right here. And there, it's very well documented. WooCommerce has fabulous documentation. I'll just put a link as well to the documentation site. And so you're definitely going to want to check out where you live in the different sales tax regulations. And you're also going to want to come up with a plan based on what you're selling of how you want to charge for shipping. So that right there is your FastPass to WooCommerce. Well, you made it to the end of this FastPass tutorial. I hope you found a lot of value in it. Remember, don't forget to visit all the resources and links that are in the video description box down below. If you're not familiar with me or any of my prior videos, I have over 300 tutorial videos just like this here on YouTube. You can just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. If you want to get notified when I upload new videos, click on the bell icon, and I'm constantly putting up new videos that might interest you and help you with your online e-commerce store. The site that I just showed you in the tutorial, I actually have a full-length tutorial on it. If you're interested, it's going to teach you how to use Elementor along with WooCommerce and fully customize the site to make it look exactly how you want it to look. The way that my tutorials work is I'm not just showing you how to build what I built, I'm showing you how to build whatever it is that you want to build. So if you want, I'll go ahead and click, I will put a link to the full tutorial video in the video description box down below. If you have any questions for me, you can leave a comment. I usually get back to them either the same day or a couple days later, but I am so grateful to you that you spent this time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.